What's up, Soul Family? Welcome back to the channel. If you're returning, as always, thank you so much. And if you're new, welcome to Soul Family Oracle, where I deliver messages. From the divine, the depth of our soul, our spirit guides, and our ancestors. So, right now, I'm wondering if I should redo this intro, but I feel like it's all part of the energy because I feel compelled to just keep going. And I was about to do a totally different reading when this message just jumped at me from nowhere whilst I was preparing the cards. And the divine brought my attention to it because I feel like it's very important right now because it's part of this message is for somebody that is part of the soul, the people or the collective that are going to be going through a star soul activation, this Lionsgate portal opening. And the first cards that came, I'm using the Starseed Oracle deck. And the first card that came was, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And it says defenselessness, righting past wrongs and uprooting. And the second card that came was the Great Seven, mass energy. That speaks of anger, conflict, and also softening to love. That contrast there, I'll explain that contrast there. It makes so much sense after Spirit came through with what's the meaning of this was. And the next card was Pulse of the Mother, slow down, time in nature, that earth pulsing. So I was guided to get into the message, to meditate on the cards. And this is where the messages started to come through. And then I got Messenger, which says serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. And the Void, which says stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. So what was coming through about the message or the energy was that whoever this message is for, there's somebody out there that is needing to know. 222 on the timer. There's somebody out there that is needing to know about the reason why they may be feeling compelled to take arms on earth or take arms in, not really take arms, I'm not talking about violence, but take arms as stand up for a higher purpose, stand up for something bigger than yourself. And for some, this might even be something that feels very scary or something that is risky, as in might put your life at risk, right? And what was coming through was that it feels like somebody reincarnated onto this earth plane with an old mission. And this was speaking specifically of Mars. So I feel like this is going to be a past life story in the end. This is going to be part of the past life diaries in the end. What was coming through was, with the Great Seven, was that whoever this message is for, I'm speaking to a starseed that reincarnated onto Earth with specifically to accomplish a mission, or specifically with a mission to be able to impact, whether good and bad, negative, positive, evil and good, on Earth, or to be able to make an impact. And what was coming through with the I'm sorry, defenselessness, and righting past wrongs was that there's some kind of what you would call witch's wound, but not witch's wound specifically. This is I'm hearing warriors' regrets, the things that a warrior regrets from war, the things that a warrior regrets doing from war that haunts them, right? The things that become nightmares for them. You understand? And this is because of the catastrophe that happened on Mars. So whoever I'm speaking to, you may have had dreams of fighting a war on a different planet. You may have had dreams. And specifically, the funny thing is, I'm seeing an image just like what is on the cards, which looks like red soil, which looks like not red, but looks like terracotta red. You understand? It's like clay red soil. So for somebody, you may have had a dream like that. For some, you may have had a dream in some kind of spaceship, but like a not like a warcraft, but you see the ones that move from a warcraft. It's like the smaller ones that have just like single or double occupancy, and then it's also like a warcraft. It has guns and stuff like that, right? And so you may have been in some kind of like, kind of like what you would call like an air force here on Earth, right? And what was coming through was, it's almost like a war was fought on Mars, that the outcome of the war was not worth its I don't know, it's like the outcome was not the intended outcome. It didn't get you The intended outcome didn't come about. However, it brought about even more catastrophe. And it feels like this was it's like, I don't know if like Mars was chosen to be the grounds for this war, or if it reached there for some reason. I think I will be pulling some more cards to try and get to the bottom of it. The energy still feels a bit, because it just came at me, so I didn't have time to like dig in or meditate. It's just like I felt the need to like just bring it out, because it's all over the place in my mind right now. So with the pulsing of the earth pulsing, it says pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. I feel like, yeah, before I get to that, I'm being asked to go deeper into the Great Seven with the Mars energy. All right. So, what else, Spirit? Okay. So, with the anger and conflict, it's like, again, with like the warrior's regret, there's this energy in you, somebody. This is what I was saying is making you want to like step forward into a bigger role, play a bigger role, do something bigger, or like basically like join a bigger cause, something that you feel is going to add up to the bigger picture, or you even want to be in the forefront of what you think, or what you might call the bigger picture, whatever feels like the bigger picture to you, right? And it's like it's saying, it's coming through to say this energy is being felt because there's a need for you to soften to love. There's a need for you to soften to loving this it's almost like this planet or this existence as it is, right? It's almost like there's a need for you to not like put the mission aside, but to take on the mission from a place of love also, right? And I feel like it's specifically because of the first card is saying, I'm sorry, defenselessness. The energy that was coming through is like there was something about this war and the catastrophe that it caused, and it's like it's almost like the people that fought this war felt like it was a desperate war. It's almost like they had to, the catastrophe or the damage that was caused was so great, but they felt like they were defenseless. It's almost like they were put between a rock and a hard place, right? So I feel like whoever I'm speaking to, first and foremost, you've been a warrior on Mars. I don't know specifically if you were involved in planetary wars that happened on Mars. I'm hearing interstellar wars. I actually don't know what interstellar is, right? But there's a lingering anger in your energy, right, towards what is happening in the world or how things are going on in the world. That comes from a deeper place, not this planet Earth. It comes from the fact that some of these things or these things that are happening here that are impacting negatively the frequencies of this Earth are things that have happened before on different planets that you've been on, are things that you've had to fight against before. And however, with this Mars energy of the Great Seven, it's like it caused so much damage. The damage was not worth the war, is what I'm hearing. It's like the damage that was caused, it was not worth the war. And it's like in this time, it's almost like your spirit feels so restless and what to do and how to do it, how to make a bigger impact. And the message that is coming through is saying there's a need to soften to love, because the point here It's not about, it's almost like, it's again with the regret, it's like somehow there's regret in the energy. So it's like, how do I help Earth? How do I want to do something big. It's almost like I'm hearing reckless bravado. Somebody wouldn't mind literally like, let's go and, I don't know, do something, like do something that's just like really crazy just to prove a point. And then, like the guy that, what's his name? Is it Giano? I don't actually. The guy that shot. Sorry, pardon me. YouTube said not to do that. But the guy that offed the. Is it the insurance company or tax company person, or I don't know. And then because of whether, I don't know whether it's insurance fraud or I don't know, but yeah, the guy that offed some billionaire or millionaire or some CEO company or CEO because of insurance or taxes and stuff like that. It's like they were taking advantage of the people or something. So something of the sort, right? And it's like this energy is like, so this might be a specific message for somebody to relax. 1055 on the time. Yeah. This might be a message for somebody to relax. Like relax, like cool down, like relax. So I don't know if somebody is thinking of doing something crazy because they want to make an impact in the world, or because they feel like, something needs to be done about the state of the world, but what you're thinking of doing is not going to solve it. Maybe that's the reason why this jumped out, because the way this jumped out, instead of the message I was like prepping for, it's still very okay. And wow, yeah, look guys, the void says stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. I even forgot stop. Exactly, the void says stop. And if you are, I'm hearing, if you are a very old star seed, you understand something about what I'm about to say now concerning the void. Messages from beyond the void, or messages from the void, I personally would say are kind of like, would be the reasoning of source. Because beyond the void is where it is believed that the primordial source of cosmic energy comes from, right? So I feel like this is almost like a message coming in from a higher power saying, hey, stop, this is not how you do it. There's a need to soften your heart, because this energy that you're feeling is as a result of the mission that you carried with you to come onto this earth. So for some of you, you may have actually died in war, in an interplanetary war. I'm hearing interstellar again. And then you reincarnated onto this earth plane because it would play a major role in you being able to combat some of the different energies that were involved in this interstellar or planetary wars, or were involved in specifically playing a specific part in that specific wars. And I feel like this has come up in there's a reading I did on the other channel, the 1313 on the timer. There's a reading I did on the Light Warriors channel. Guys, if you haven't followed that one yet, please, I would like for you to follow. I would like for you to follow the Light Warriors channel. That is going to be messages that have to do with specifically stuff like this, and also the Light War, and also for Light Warriors. This channel is specifically for the soul family and light workers and stuff like that. So it has more general messages that I receive concerning the collective and the energy shift. But that one is going to be messages specifically channeled for light warriors and channeled for earth missions, new earth missions. So I need to remember to put the link in, but you can just search also Light Warriors Oracle, and I'm sure you'll be able to recognize this from the thumbnails when you see it. And thank you in advance. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like this message is saying like with a stop, right? It's saying it's like there's a need for somebody to like reanalyze maybe how they choose to go about some of these things. And with the last card, it says serious energy, messenger, bringing harmony and balance, because this is what you chose to be how you do it this time around. Did you understand? To do it this time around. 1444 on the timer. So like I was saying, it's like you may have died in this like interplanetary war or whatever this thing is on Mars, right? And then you reincarnated back to do things differently, which is to still serve as a messenger, to still serve as a light worker, to still serve as a warrior of light, to still serve as somebody that is bringing harmony and balance into the universe. However, it would be different. That is why the reading started with the card I'm sorry, which says defenselessness, righting past wrongs and uprooting. So it's almost like you came back to finish what was started, but not in the way that it was started, or not how it was begun. Right. So again, with this catastrophe on Mars, where it's like there was a lot of conflict, there was a lot of chaos, there was a lot of death and destruction. And this time, embodying that energy, but on this planet, is like what you promised yourself is what I'm hearing, was that in this time it was going to be different. It wasn't going to be done from a space of conflict and anger. It was going to be done from a place of what? Softness and love. And so with this writing past wrongs, I feel like this message is coming through to be a reminder for somebody that the energy that you may be carrying on, there's a need to remember to write past wrongs. And also there's something about, for instance, understanding the difference in the planets. I don't know, that might mean something to somebody. The difference in the planet, or like understanding the difference in the different spaces, or the energy of the different planets. In terms of like your energy now as who you are and the energy that you were in before. So again, pay attention to your dreams. If this has been coming up, it might be coming up in your dreams. If this starts to come up, or if this has come up already, it may have come through your dreams. All right, what else, Spirit? I'm going to pull a few clarifiers. I feel like this is not going to be a very long message. It's like it just needed to come through as a message of concern or caution for somebody. And I thought it was going to be like a past life diary reading, but Spirit is already closing it out for me. It's like this is a message that somebody just needed to hear concerning themselves now, and a past life energy that they are in, and to understand the reason why they're feeling a certain way, and not to act on it from a low vibration or from a negative emotion. You understand? What else, Spirit? We have Hired. Oh, longing for home, homesick for the stars. Longing for home and homesick for the stars. It's like this yearning for peace. This has been coming up a lot this week. This like homesickness and yearning for the stars. It's like I feel like a lot of star seeds are missing home. I feel like a lot of star seeds are missing home, or are getting this sense or remembrance of home. And this might be the reason why this might be coming up very heavily in this time. It's like you might be sensing this very heavily. This need for balance, this need for harmony, because you consider this planet Earth to be home now. Right? And for some, you may have actually been, I'm getting goosebumps, like I'm getting chills on the back of my neck and my shoulders. For some, you may have been on Mars for quite a time. And again, that's why I was saying interplanetary wars. It may have been from different places, but there was some kind of catastrophe that happened on Mars that sealed your fate, or that was how you exited. You know, that's how you died. You understand? But then I feel like with this longing for home and homesick for the stars, like you may have actually been on different planets, you know, for this like I keep hearing interstellar. You know, let me just Google it, guys. Let me just Google that. It keeps coming. So let me search interstellar meaning. Okay. All right, so it says interstellar. If something happens or is located in between stars, it's interstellar. If you dream of interstellar travel, or you're imagining flying through space, you may be meeting a few extraterrestrials along this. Okay. All right, so basically interstellar means something, okay, that is happening or located between stars. So interstellar wars then would mean war between different star systems. Oh my goodness. I'm getting that feeling of guilt again. I'm getting that feeling of guilt and regret and remorse, and also something about that karma. And I remember this energy from months ago, sometime last year. Something about the sins of the ancestors or stuff like that. So it's like this energy is like with a longing for home. Whoever this message is for, you may have gone so different star systems, doing interstellar wars, like taking part in interstellar wars, going from different planets also, and then taking part in interplanetary wars. And so this may have taken you from your original home, your star family, or your galactic system, or your star home, for a long time, and you never returned. That's how it feels. Whoever I'm speaking to, it feels like you left home and the stars. It's like, and went on all these like interplanetary wars to fulfill missions to basically, I guess, stop the bad side or stop the other side from wreaking havoc in the universe. And eventually, at some point, you died. And for some, this is giving me heavy Mars. This death was on Mars, but I feel like there was something else that happened also. For some reason, I don't feel like I want to go into it because it's like 2122 on the timer and now 2123. Yeah, we're not going into that. I want to go along the lines of what Spirit is asking me to show, or what Spirit wants us to know right now. All right, what else, Spirit? We have surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Yeah, I feel like whoever you are, you may have been in like a very tensed energy for a bit too long, being tensed about how things are going in the world, and there's a need for you to recognize the beautiful part of the world also. It's like you may have always been looking at the dark side, the darkness in the world, the dark things happening in the world, but there's a need for you to look at the beautiful things happening also, right? And I'm seeing somebody with just like this face watching on a screen, and it's like somebody just keeps watching things about horrible things that are happening around the world. Like somebody keeps focusing on the bad in the world instead of the good in the world. So, and it's like you may be telling yourself it's because you want to know what's going on in the world, because you want to care, and that's fine. But it's like there's a need for you to understand that you carry an energy that is originally of a messenger and a liberator, is originally of somebody that is a teacher, is originally of somebody that brings balance to people, right? And so when you're in the energy of the opposite, the energy where it's like you are not in that energy, you are not really being in that energy, it brings about the opposite, which means it's not really bringing anything positive. It's not bringing about anything, which is zero. Right? But it's like when you're recognizing the beauty of life and you're beginning to see that there's some goodness in life, it aligns you with the energy that you're meant to originally be in, which is the energy of, again, not being in so much conflict and anger with the world, with your space, or just with things around you. Right? And then now being able to see beyond the bad things. This doesn't mean that all of a sudden you become blinded to the bad that's going on in the world. No. But this means that now you are able to remain grounded and centered in the right energies. Okay? And this now can avoid the conflict or the wrong type of confrontation. Right? Because I say, like, even as light warriors, like, we have to choose our battles in the sense that certain people don't require hellfire. Certain people don't require spitfire, you understand? Certain people, they just require silence. And that silence on its own is a form of spiritual warfare, you understand? The silence in its own is a form of light warrior work. So that's why when it comes to the light warriors energy, I don't like to go into it too deep unless I have a message that I'm delivering, because you have to feel like a light warrior to understand. You have to be in that energy. You have to feel like you are a light warrior to fully understand what I'm saying. Otherwise, sometimes it will sound like I'm saying, oh, light warriors don't do this. And other times it'll sound like I'm saying light warriors do that. You will never be able to understand where the balance is. You'll never be able to find your place in the gray areas. Okay. What else, Spirit? 2444 on the timer. Will and Oka elders, share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. I feel like this has to do with the message. Your mission when you reincarnated remained the same, which was to uphold the light, to help to bring peace, balance, and harmony. However, the process to get there, the path you chose to get there, was different. But that doesn't mean that you can't also be that fighter, that warrior. But you need to understand yourself and both sides in order to be able to find the balance that now allows you to be able to exert force when needed, to step back when needed, to just think when needed, to just be quiet when needed, to take your attention off it when needed, and to still remain grounded and centered within yourself throughout all this. So I feel like there's a need for you to continue to be that person, that you in this earth plane that you wanted to be, that still carries your mission, but through a message. So for some of you, it's like instead of being so angry or just staring at the phone all the time, looking at what's next or where it's being bombarded next, just to see who in the world needs to, instead of doing that, share it, share that energy, share that emotion through your messages, share it through your content. Don't let it just become something that consumes you into anger, into rage. Let it become something that fuels you into sharing your message. And in that sense, it won't even matter however it comes out, because the message will be shared instead of letting it consume you into taking the wrong actions. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like this is where I'm going to leave this message, is what I'm being told. 2707 on the timer. Thank you, Spirit. As always, I hope you listened with discernment and take only what resonates and leave what doesn't. I feel like this message is going to be for a specific few, but yeah. As always, thank you guys, and have